Hi everybody, I am Ivan Kovachev from Audio Grocery and I'm so happy to introduce the brand new VEP Multi Instance Composer Toolkit. The toolkit comes with Windows and Mac standard installers. Let me run the Windows installation. Note, a new folder labeled Audio Grocery will be installed in your user documents path. The AG folder contains all essential tools you need. You can import a Vienna Factory preset just by dragging and dropping it into the Ensemble Pro server. The VEP Instance template loads 15 Kontakt instances, where each Kontakt instance is set to the first Vienna port plugin by default. Look, each Kontakt instrument comes with a preloaded VEP Multi-Instance plugin, the input channel of which is set to the correspondent Kontakt instance number. Let's load an empty preset to reset the KSP plugin, and after that load the VEP Multi-Instance preset to check if the KSP plugin is properly installed. All is fine here. The Mac OS X installation is similar to the Windows one. After the installation, go to your user documents path and open the Audio Grocery folder. Here you will find AG articulation maps, Cubase expression maps and VEP Multi-Instance templates. Let's load the K15 VEP template. The VEP Instance system is designed to work with multi-timbral instruments, so you have to create a multi-instrument per each VEP instance. In this example, I'll create a multi-timbral instrument with 16 MIDI tracks using Logic Pro X. By the way, the Mac installer installs specially designed Logic articulation sets templates. It is a good idea to check if they are properly installed before you start working. Look, this articulation set comes with complete output assignments, so you only have to type new articulation names. It is important to know that the VEP plugin must be connected before you start working. Otherwise, the Kontakt user interface will not be active. The VEP Multi-Instance system is based on a very simple method. Each multi-instrument track feeds a correspondent Kontakt instrument loaded into a Vienna Pro instance. Note, the KSP plugin input channels of all Kontakt instruments are set to Logic multi-instrument tracks 1 to 15 accordingly. All Kontakt instances are set to VEP Port 1 MIDI Channel All. In this sample project, I have loaded all first violins individual patches into Kontakt A, B, C and D ports, which allows me to switch them using a single track in Logic. In other words, you can switch up to 64 Kontakt channels using a single track in your host sequencer. The second violins are loaded into the second Kontakt instrument and so on. The toolkit comes with an interactive PDF which will assist you to understand the Kontakt ports and channel switching types. There are 3 types of K15 instance templates which allow you to switch the Kontakt MIDI channels 1 to 64 via a velocity key switch, control change or program change MIDI messages. The Kontakt ports factory channel indication is 1 to 16, which is a little bit complicated at first glance. For example, channel 4 port D corresponds to Kontakt MIDI channel 52. The interactive PDF allows you to type custom articulation names, which can be useful for those of you who use DAWs which don't offer an articulation switching system. Look, in this sample document, I have organized all violins' individual patches into articulation types. The shorts and longs are loaded into port A, legatos into port B, decorative into port C, and the miscellaneous into port D. For the sake of this demo, I'll change the first violins to program change switching mode and draw a few program changes in Logic. By the way, the program change switching type is recommended for DAWs which don't offer an articulation change system. Look, the program numbers I just created correspond to spiccato, pizzicato, and disco falls according to this PDF custom Kontakt mapping. You can use a custom control change number and switch the Kontakt channels via control change values 1 to 64. The default controller used in the factory presets is number 88. In the next example, I use Reaper as a host sequencer. I have drawn 3 control change messages, the values of which are the same as in the program change example I used before. Fine, all works as expected. In this part of the video, I'd like to let you know that the VEP multi-instance can be addressed to different Vienna Ensemble plugin ports for DAWs which handle well with VST3 technology. In this example, I'll reassign the MIDI output of all selected tracks from Vienna MIDI input 1 to MIDI input 2 in one go. Let's switch the first Kontakt instrument to Vienna MIDI input 2 and audition the result. The AG Pro toolkit comes with specially designed Cubase expression maps. Note, the output mapping is set to note number G8 with velocity assignments 1 to 64. All you have to do is to type custom articulation names. By the way, the maps can be used without custom articulation names. Let me show that. Look, all maps come with basic name prefixes which display the Kontakt port letter and the MIDI channel number. This is quite enough to switch the Kontakt channels. Let's have a look at the other articulation mapping used in this demo region. It is a good idea to keep the map templates in a good order and name them according to the Kontakt instruments. Let's load the strings and brass expression maps examples and try them. In this part of the video, I'm going to demonstrate a few setups which are related to the individual and multi-articulation Kontakt instruments usage. Here, I use a Logic multi-timbral setup which is based on environment multi-instruments. This old-school setup allows you to solo, mute, volume and pan the MIDI tracks without any troubles. Let's have a look at the first violin's articulation set. Note, the output assignments of this set are addressed to Kontakt ports A, B, C and D. As you see, all articulation slots are mapped to G8 velocity key switch. Here is the same articulation set template with custom articulation names assignments. Let's audition the second violin's region and see what's there. Here I have copied the first violin region and only changed the melody line. Let's have a look at this annotation scheme. Here is another method called economical mapping. I have loaded the most important individual patches into Kontakt Port A user interface, and I have set the ports and the channels of each instrument to match the first violin's ports and channel mapping. The violas track is connected to a standard multi-articulation Kontakt instrument. Here, the VEP multi-instance switching is out of the party. The articulations will be switched via regular key switches. This method is simple, but you are limited to use only a single instrument per Kontakt instance. The cello setup illustrates another scenario where you can use numerous multi-articulation instruments. As you see, I use a logic articulation set which can switch the multi-articulations of the core and the decorative instruments. Let's have a look at this combo articulation set. Note, I have created two key switch assignments per each articulation. The first key switch will be used to switch the instrument MIDI channel as it is shown in the annotation scheme. The second key switch assignment will switch the instrument articulations. Here is the decorative articulation set mapping. You can create such combo sets easily just by adding a second key switch to the provided Cubase and Logic articulation maps templates. I guess that many Cubase and Logic users may want to adapt some existing articulation maps by adding a G8 velocity key switch. The best way for now is to use the AG Logic Maps editor. Let me show that. I'll open the core and the decorative articulation presets into two editor instances, which will allow me to merge both presets by dragging and dropping the decorative maps into the core editor preset. Now I'll select all articulation maps, right-click them and press Swap KS1 and KS2 function. Now I will assign the first key switch to note number G8 and set the velocity to value 1. I will deselect the core maps and set the first KS velocity to value 2, which will assign all decorative maps to that velocity value. Perfect, all is done in a minute. I'll update the articulation set name and will store the preset as a logic articulation set. Let's load the newly created articulation set and try it. It is well known that each empty Kontakt instance takes CPU resources. For that reason, I recommend that you disable all empty Kontakt instruments you don't use. The VEP instrument power button can be used to unload actual system RAM resources in case you decide to disable a Kontakt instance. You are advised to store your Kontakt instruments as Kontakt multi presets because you will need them as a backup in case you update your Kontakt to a higher major version such as 7, 8 or 9 in the future. VEP multi-instance comes with a specially developed system which switches the control change and all similar MIDI data according to the Kontakt MIDI channel switching. In this example, I have automated the expression and modulation controllers. Let me show that. piano-to-patch dynamics are controlled via CC1 modulation. The global channel is a brand new utility which is designed to behave as a MIDI send. The global channel needs a custom channel input assignment, channel 16 in this example. The first global channel purpose is to duplicate a single controller stream to numerous instrument channels. The second purpose is to use the WALKTROUGH for composing tutti parts in your song project. Each Kontakt instance can be set to a custom tutti voice transposition and a performance humanization. In this example, I have connected all string instruments to MIDI channel 16, which is the global strings channel in this case. Note, the woodwinds are not connected to channel 16. In this song mockup, I use Kontakt Factory multi-articulation woodwind instruments which are dissolved into single instrument aliases. This tip doesn't enhance the RAM usage and is valid for all third-party Kontakt libraries. The single patches alias usage offers a perfect articulation balance. Look, I have routed the woods and the strings Kontakt instances to Vienna mixing bus channels to be able to solo or mute the strings or woods easily. In this demo song, I use a multi-timbral articulation preset which contains 9 articulation sets loaded into a single AG articulation scripter plugin. The AG text control point system speeds up your work and allows you to edit the articulations of numerous tracks directly in the Logic main window. I'll solo the strings bus to be able to demonstrate the global channel controller's cloning system. As you see, the channel 16 single controller lanes are cloned to all strings instruments. By the way, you can use another global channel inside a vPro multi-instance. I'll set the global channel input of all woods to channel 15. The numerous global channel usage allows you to group your instruments and control their parameters via single controller lanes, which is a very convenient method. Well, it's time to introduce the tutti composing features. Each note event played via the tutti track is duplicated to all string instruments. You can select a given Kontakt instrument and change its global channel transposition to achieve an orchestral chord arrangement triggered by a single note event. Let me introduce the other vPro multi-setup, whose presets are labeled K4. This Vienna Instance preset loads 4 Kontakt instruments where the KSP plugin displays the Kontakt A, B, C and D ports in a single user interface. In this example, the first violins are addressed to input channel 1, port A. The second violins are loaded into port B and routed via channel 2 and so on. The woodwinds are loaded into the second Kontakt instance. The oboe is set to channel 5 port A, the flute to channel 6 port B, the clarinet to port C and the bassoon to port D. The auxes are routed to the strings and woods summing basses, so I can solo or mute the instrument types easily. Well, it's time to explain the VEP Pro Multi user interface features. The setup menu switches between K15 and K4 setups. The volume and pan button is a sort of MIDI filter for Control Change 7 and Control Change 10 messages. The presets menu offers up to 20 slots where you can store various user interface configurations. The presets 1 to 16 load the K15 mode. These presets change the input channel assignment only. The factory presets 17 to 20 load the K4 mode. I'll copy preset 17 to preset 1 slot to show you some advanced techniques. Note, when you click the Save As menu item, then the Save As blinks orange and waits for a new preset slot choice. I'll choose preset slot number 1. Let's check up preset 2 and preset 1. Fine, all works as expected. Now I'll make some transposition and humanization settings and save as my work into preset slot number 2. Finally, I have 2 presets with different global channel transposition and humanization assignments. Let me try them. Cool! Now I'll copy the tutti region to be able to show you how to create a new tutti music version without changing the note events in the region. By the way, this small button disables the preset automation if any. The presets menu can be automated via the control change number 89 by default. I'll draw a control change point and set it to value 1, which must switch preset 1. In the second region, I'll draw another control point using value 2, which has to switch preset number 2. Let's enable the preset automation and see what happens. You can also automate the presets inside a region to achieve different chord progression and humanization of each source node. Cool, all works as expected. Finally, I'd like to say that this ultimate product will open new doors and will improve your workflow in a great way. Thanks for watching this video.